Reality check, man, from your device, and you know it's a unique one, aromatic, realistic TV. Anyway, Jamaica, today we have some breaking, developing story. And it's alleged that the deceased Melissa Silvera grandparents farm a property that they used to own. Melissa was on the verge of repurchasing that piece of property. And then Jamaica get the shocking news that she died in her sleep of natural cause. And a month later, the autopsy revealed she get gunshot wound in her private part. Read between the lines, Jamaica. Read between the lines, Jamaica. So it's alleged.
Keep blazing your fire, fire, fire. Blazing your fire, fire, fire. This is Jimmy Morgan, bigging up Aromatic Realistic TV. Real about ya here. Subscribe now, YouTube. Boom.
That Coob that located in Albion St. Thomas, Jamaica, in a quiet fishing village. And that property was once owned by the grandparents of Melissa Silvera. The Coob property was once owned by Melissa Silvera grandparents, and studies shown that Coob is one of the deepest natural harbor, not just in Jamaica, you know, but in the world. In the world, and it can dock some of the largest cruise ships that sail across the globe. I will repeat, Coob Harbor is one of the deepest natural harbor that located in the world and can dock some of the biggest cruise ship them was sail on the sea. So it's alleged that Melissa was on the verge of repurchasing back Coob that her grandparents lost in the FINSA financial crisis in the 90s. The Coob Harbor, you know, the depth of it is 170 feet deep. This property, this dock, this harbor, the depth of it is 170 feet deep. And Melissa was on the verge of repurchasing back that property that in grandparents them lost in the 90s financial crisis. So Jamaica, it was told to us that she died from a natural cause in her sleep. A month later, an autopsy showed that she received gunshot in her private part. Jamaica, it don't look good, but it's now alleged that the owner of Coob property is the wife of the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness, Juliet Holness. It's alleged that Juliet Holness is the owner of Coob. The piece of property that used to owned by Melissa Silvera grandparents. And it was told that Melissa was on the verge of repurchasing back Coob. And it was said that she died of a natural cause. And a month later, the autopsy showed she received gunshot wound to her private part. Think about it, Jamaica. Coob in Albion St. Thomas sit on a quiet fishing village. A lot of development is taking place in Jamaica. Everybody is talking about St. Thomas. We see where Pernell charged thief over 200 acres of land over there. So everybody is on a rush. Now, we can see the reason why people, when they run down people over there with weapon, go up on people property and beat them up. Now we can see what take place in the election. Why from Portland to St. Thomas, then wrap up the local government election to keep control of those council. Because everything in those council have to keep within a certain parties. Read between the lines, Jamaica. Read between the lines. Coob, you know, is a very historical place. Because what we must remember, you know, when the Spaniard went out and then wild goose chase all over the world looking for riches. When they reach the Caribbean, you know, and Jamaica, Coob was one of the places that they dock their ship and unload. So Coob is sitting there, waiting to redevelop. So it was too good for Melissa Silvera to repurchase that property. So it was told that she died of natural cause. And a month later, the autopsy revealed that she get gunshot. And now it is alleged out there that the Speaker of the House and the Prime Minister wife Juliet Holness is now the owner of Coob in Albion, St. Thomas. Her parents lose that property in FINSA. Remember the same FINSA when Nigel Clark and Andrew Holness spend millions of dollars to go get that report. And Nigel Clark and Andrew Holness have the FINSA report and then cannot release it. They cannot release it. But let me read on something from WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks. Julian Assange WikiLeaks. Let me read on something from WikiLeaks because a lot of people is blaming Omar Davis and PMP for the FINSA collapse in the 1990s. And it was Edward Siaga, Dan Crawford, Capo Williams, Paul Cheng Young, and Dan Crawford mother and the JLP affiliate them that caused the financial crisis in the 90s. And that is the reason why the Jamaica Labour Party spends so much money to do the FINSAC report. And when they get the FINSAC report, then can't release it because too much damning information is in the FINSAC report about the Jamaica Labour Party. So they cannot release it. Let me go to something from WikiLeaks. Dan Crawford, former head of Field Central National Bank, has lost his appeal to the Privy Council following his 1999 conviction in the civil court facing financial fraud and has been instructed, you understand, and has been instructed to repay the government of Jamaica 45 million US dollars. Remember, say them say Omar Davis, you know, and the PMP. But this is Dan Crawford. This is Dan Crawford who the Privy Council reject him appeal and subject him to pay over US $45 million to the government of Jamaica. It continued Jamaica. It says Crawford Bank, which made a number of loans to connected parties, was soon to face a liquidity and a solvency crisis and has seek assistance. Listen to that, and I seek assistance from the state. Who is the state? From Jamaica. Seek assistance from the state, Jamaica. When he recognized the extent of the deficit, the authorities took control of the bank and charged Crawford for financial fraud. The Jamaican government take control of the failing institution and charge Crawford for financial fraud. Listen now, Jamaica. It was widely believed that his close affiliation with the opposition Labour Party did not suit his case. And this is when it gets interested, Jamaica. In particular, the bank made loan to companies owned by Crawford, his mother, former opposition leader and Prime Minister of Jamaica, Edward Seaga. Make I go back over that again, Jamaica. In particular, the bank made loan to companies owned by Crawford, Crawford's mother, and former opposition leader and Prime Minister of Jamaica, Edward Seaga. Edward Seaga. So when you see Andrew Holness and Nigel Clark go do the FINSA report where they spend how much money to do the investigation, Andrew Holness and Nigel Clark have the FINSA report and they hide it. Is a reason why they are hiding it. They cannot release it because there is more damning information in that report to the Jamaica Labour Party. Because as I said to you before, it was Dan Crawford, Paul Cheng Young, Keppel Williams, Edward Seaga, Dan Crawford mother, and then rest of Labour right cronies. Seaga borrow over 30 million US and say him never remember about it. So it was not Omar Davis or the PMP. When them FINSA then did not have the money to pay the account, all of them, then turn to the government, the state. And that is when Omar Davis step in and the government and try to bail them out and help the people. And charge Dan Crawford for financial fraud. So all Omar Davis and the PMP was doing was trying to help out the people of Jamaica by selling what them can sell and give up the people them money. But the financial crisis in the 90s, it led by Edward Seaga. And it's the same FINSA that Melissa Silvera, grandparents, lose Coob. You see where you go in Jamaica? Her grandparents then lose that piece of property in Coob. And Melissa Silvera was on the verge to repurchase back that piece of land down in Coob. When we heard the news that she passed away in her sleep. And a month later, the autopsy revealed she received bullet in her private part. And it's alleged that the wife of the Prime Minister, the Speaker of the House, Juliet Holness, is now the owner of Coob. is now the owner of Kobe. It says studies have shown that Kobe is one of the deepest natural harbor in the world, not just Jamaica, in the world, that can dock some of the biggest cruise ship that you can think of that sail on the water. Kobe. And the land or that piece of property that her grandparents lost in the 90s. In the 90s, at the hand of Edward Siaga, Dan Crawford, Keppy Williams, Paul Cheng Young, Dan Crawford mother, and then rest of labor right cronies. She was on the verge to purchase back that property when we get the sad news that she died in her sleep. But a month later, Jamaica, they come back to us and tell us that autopsy show that Melissa Silvera received bullet in her private part. The property was too good for her, I guess. The property was too good for her, I guess. So Jamaica, we all can draw our conclusion. We all can draw our conclusion. You understand? But as I said to you before, Kobe, Albion St. Thomas, located in a quiet fishing village, and it was once owned by the grandparents of Melissa Silvera. Studies have shown that Kobe is one of the deepest natural harbor in the world, not just Jamaica, in the world, that can dock some of the largest cruise ships that sail around the world. Melissa Silvera was on the verge of repurchasing back the land that her grandparents once owned, that they lost in FINSA in the 1990s financial crisis. She was on the verge of purchasing back that property. But we get a sad news that she died in her sleep. But a month later, an autopsy show she received bullet in her private part. Couple months later, we are now hearing that it's alleged, but that piece of property now is now owned by Juliet Holness. Anyway, my viewers and subscribers, stay tuned to Aromatic Realistic TV. Like and share and follow us over YouTube. You know what to do. Touch the notification bell. That each time I drop a video, you should be the first to know. We tell them no one is an island, so therefore none of us can stand alone. United we stand, or divided we gonna drop. Love your fellow man and show them respect. The struggle is real, but how real can it get? Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding can think us out of it. Be well, my people. The signature word, heart of love. Heart of love. Heart of love. Be well, my people. Oh.